Hey, listen. So I just finished watching, well, at least half of the Lavelle Crawford and Shannon Sharp interview, and it was so hilarious. The first half had me dying, but so y'all should go check that out on Shay Shay podcast. But a lot of the first half it discussed weight. So I was encouraged to come on here and talk about it, right? Because we all know like that's it's nothing that's taboo in the black community. Black women are a lot of times overweight by the standards of society, overweight by the medical standards, overweight. That's what they say we are, myself included. um so let's talk about it. And for the most part, like I said, I always could basically talk about my situation and the things that I have observed. So it's been my experience, that I say I grew up a heavy set um child. My pictures as a baby, I was heavy. Um I can't say per se that I come from a heavy family because my mom was small. Um, you know, my dad's side of the family is where I believe the heaviness came from, right? And I say that because my dad's dad was very heavy. Like he was so heavy like that he needed like a extra, like a bigger casket, right? He was a big, heavy, bow-legged man, right? So I believe that's where the weight comes from, my dad's side of the family, because I believe I have like more in terms of my body, I have more physicalities of my dad, broad shoulders like a man. Um, just big legs. My dad had big legs. My dad's mom had like big, pretty legs, as they used to say. So, I would have to say that, um, my dad's sisters, they're heavy set women. Um, so that's why I believe my weight stemmed from genetically, right? Now, in terms of just like learned behaviors and stuff like that, my mom loved to eat. So it's safe to say that, you know, we never had asparagus. Like my mama ain't never cooked no asparagus growing up. Now we might have had broccoli corn was my dad's like favorite thing that my mom cooked. We ate just general stuff. Like, we really my mom wasn't like a super soul food cooker. So it's not like, we had like the all the hog maws and all. No, that was more like stuff that my mom's mom cooked sometimes. We had general American dining things that we ate when I was younger. We spaghetti, chicken, baked chicken, fried chicken, meatloaf, liver and onions, which I hated. Um, you know, what them things called? I don't know. I forgot. I hated them anyways, but it wasn't a lot of fast food eating. It wasn't any of that. So as a little girl, when I'm growing up, I am like middle school age. I'm not fat at all. I am thicker in my build. Like I said, I have big legs. Like I'm thicker in my build, but I played outside all the time, ran all the time. Like running was a thing. Like that was a thing, and it was something I was good at. Um, so just the make of my body was bigger, right? But I wasn't fat. By the time I'm in elementary, going into middle school, right? But because I'm just a thicker build, then I'm still bigger than a lot of the girls my age, right? So when I'm in 6th grade, I'm probably still bigger than, but I'm thick. I'm just thick. No flab, no stomach, no nothing. Nice booty, thick legs, little breasts. Like I'm perfect. To be honest, perfect. My eating habits are not even bad. My eating habits aren't bad. And I'm still active. We still walk into the park every day. We outside. Whether we walk into the bus stop, whether we catching the city bus, going downtown. Listen, we outside. We ain't sitting up in no house. We ain't playing no video games. Like, none of that. None of that. We are out. We're at the park. Like, we're outside, literally. Before it was a we outside, we was outside. So I go into high school. Shape still nice. Everything toned because, like I said, we walking all the time. So all my friends, like pretty much all of us, are shapely, just because of our natural build, and we're always active, always going, always walking. Dancing. Love to dance. We at the skating range. Every time we can, we dancing. We going somewhere clubbing. As we get to our latter teenage years, we in the clubs. We in booty shorts, crop tops. Like, we that. And eating habits still not bad. Like, I don't eat. I didn't. At that time I didn't eat terrible, right? Junk food, yes. Junk food was a must. You walking around the neighborhood, you hanging out, you have to get chips, get you a soda, get your pickled egg, 9 laters. Like, you have your junk food, but you have your main food. Still, it's not like there's no fast food stuff every day. It's no foolishness really, except for, when you go to the Candid lady, get that, and, that's that. But you have a regular home cooked meal most nights. So I get to college, and how they say you gain like 15 pounds, blah, blah. Well, it was opposite for me. I lost it. Why? Because when I went to college, Alabama State, Simpson Hall, stayed on the 5th floor, no elevator. So when I came home for Thanksgiving, I had lost a lot of weight. Size was perfect. Schoolgirl size, just more perfection. Put it like that. Couldn't tell me nothing. Oh my goodness, you couldn't tell me nothing. And that was that. Eating habits still wasn't terrible because, when you in school, you just eat what you can. Like, it's not a whole lot of money flowing. You staying on campus, you eating at the dining hall. You just, you eating when you can, what you can, We didn't have a refrigerator in my freshman year. We didn't have a refrigerator in our dorm. So I remember having to put water and juices in a bag, open the window, and then close the window on the bag so that the stuff could get cold, because we was in Alabama. Alabama does get cold. So, we just was thugging it. So it wasn't no whole lot of room for eating a whole lot. Like, you must have to go to anything but a HBCU if you're going to be gaining weight when you first go, because other than that, it's like, things are scarce. You away from home, you can't go to auntie house, nobody house to get nothing to eat. Like, listen, it's scarce. So, what they call it, the freshman 15, well, mine's, it wasn't gaining, I lost it. So, once I changed schools, though, this is when I can say I started gaining weight. when I changed schools and went down south, went to FAU. Now we're no longer at HBCU, so now a refrigerator and a microwave come in our room. All right, and we ain't too far from, going to the grocery store or anything like that. Okay, so now I turned 21 there, so I'm in my early 20s now, and still shapely, but just not as active. Cause now it's like, man, I'm tired all the time, tired or bored. So now you start eating more, staying in more. You ain't up and down the street all the time, outside at the park. No, you're spending a lot of time in your dorms, studying, and it's just not as much movement. So this is when I start gaining weight. Then as you move up in your class, then you end up going to like student apartments or whatever. So now you could cook. Now you could turn all the way up. So here we go. In my mind, like, I'm already like Susie Homemaker. So now I'm really like getting into learning how to cook, calling my grandma, how you make these turkey wings and this, that, or the third. It's like I got a lot of homeboys. They, on the football team, they come into my room, so I'm cooking or something, so I don't know, like that's when I could really start seeing a difference. I start seeing a huge increase in weight. So it wasn't because I was depressed. It wasn't because I wasn't happy. It wasn't none of that. It was just a lifestyle change. It's like now you're on your own and now you're having to cook. Okay, well, if you cook and you don't have nobody to share it with, then it's more for you to eat. So if you're bored, then you're going to go back in and eat seconds, or you're going to eat third. Okay, so now the weight is piling on. Now, what's keeping so much weight from piling on is the fact that I'm still having to walk on campus because I don't have a car, right? So I have to walk to my evening job, which was at Eckert's, and I walk to my work study job, which is on campus. So still having some movement, just not a whole bunch, because after I come from doing that, walking on campus and all that, I'm done. I'm finna cook and I'm finna eat, and I'm finna eat some sweet. So here we go. You start picking up bad habits. Like, okay, just because you eat dinner, now you gotta have some sweet to go with it. Bad habit. Once you get into it, it's hard to break. Nothing. I ain't upset about no man. Life is good. I'm happy. Like, it's literally happy weight. I'm living. I'm in college. Sometimes it's a struggle, but when them financial aid checks hit, ain't no struggle. And I'm working 2 jobs. Like, life is great. Life is great. And here go that happy weight. It's coming. A lot of times we see that when we see it with like new celebrities, I'll say. Even the ones that start off heavy, when they go to getting bread, a lot of them go to getting like heavier. So then we move on along, get my own place. Get my own place is more of the same. I'm still cooking a lot. I got real bills now. When you're in your first place, you got real bills, so you can't just blow a lot of your money. So yeah, you have to cook, and you trying to cook to, have leftovers for the next day. Ain't no cooking every single day. Most of the time. And then, so I could really say it just becomes like a lack of moving around, because now you going to work, you coming home, you cooking, and you getting ready to do it again the next day. So if you don't make it your business to go and, make yourself go to the gym, make yourself go for some walks. If you don't go through the motions of making yourself do stuff, and you just get into the regular routine of life and living, and things going pretty good, the weight coming. And that's pretty much how mine came, and before you know it, it's just happy living, happy life. Like, you able to, you know, buy things, you able to, um, your as your money starts to increase, you're able to experiment with other things. Like, now you able to really go and see what they talking about with the, better restaurants and stuff that, hey, you may not have came up necessarily doing, but now you able to go see what different things hitting for. You able to hit Ruth Chris and experience that tomahawk. I know exactly what Lavelle was talking about when he was talking about that tomahawk steak. Listen, that tomahawk, baby, hit different. You hear me? Especially when it's sizzling on that Ruth Chris thing. You hear me? So the thing is, I guess, it's like, you just have to pay attention to stuff, because before you know it, things just, it happens, and you here now. You know what I'm saying? If you're not paying attention. Like, of course, when I'm coming up, my dad used to say, all right, you got to watch what you eat, because, my family, they're bigger people. Okay. But when you looking in the mirror and you find that is not anything that's on your mind, you hear it, but that's it. It's in one ear and not the other. You know what I'm saying? Now, you do know people that's much bigger than you and that they fat now. Okay, in your mind, that ain't never going to be you. In your mind, you're going to be exactly how you are when you were in high school. Like, you do not plan on that changing. You don't see that changing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish that it was somebody that really could have grabbed me and say, hey, listen, you have to incorporate fitness into your lifestyle. Whether you're broke or whether you have money, you have to incorporate that. You have to start thinking about the things that you're eating, that you're intaking. You have to eat better. You have to avoid eating fast foods on a daily basis, because for the most part of my life, I didn't do that. But there have been times when, okay, I'm picking up fast food here, I'm picking up fast food there, and did it without thinking about it, right? And that was the worst thing you could do, because once you get into that, you do it for a while until you get educated enough or something happens where you pull yourself out of that. So now I'm not big on fast food at all. I'm big on good food, and I'm big on, being more aware of what you're eating. Like, I would love to be a vegan one day. Like, I would love to be a vegan and love being a vegan. Understand me? Like, I would love to do it, but I would love to enjoy it while I'm doing it, because I do think that that's probably the healthiest way for us to eat, right? And I believe that's the healthiest way for us to eat, just because it's just so many, they got all these hormones in our foods. It wasn't until maybe like 7 years ago or so, I started paying attention to like hormones being in the foods and stuff, and really looking out for that type of stuff, and then I started doing like the Whole Foods and going to place. Then I was like, man, but it's so high. Like, how can I afford this? But it's like, you can afford it because you are spending buku money on junk. So if you could spend buku money on junk, you could take those same funds and spend it on food that doesn't have the hormones, doesn't have the pesticides, and it's healthier food for you. It is truly like a mindset thing, right? So throughout those years, I started, doing different like weight loss programs, right? And I would see some results, and then I would maintain for a little bit, and then just go back to not maintaining. You know, it was a time where I didn't eat chicken, beef, or like pork. Like I only did like seafood, fish, shrimp, salads, um, and I did that like on a regular basis. And then people started saying, "Well, you shouldn't eat tilapia." So okay, that kind of killed that mode. That, you know what I'm saying? That killed that. So then it's like, okay, well, you know, it's times that I have did the it was times that I did just like trying to do like no meat at all, you know, just fruits, just vegetables. And it worked. Like I really loved doing that. But it's like it takes so much planning and stuff like that. Because if I'm out driving, going somewhere, if I don't have no fruit or something right there with me, then I'm probably just gonna go somewhere and pick up something I ain't got no business picking up. You know what I'm saying? So you really have to plan. And I wasn't really good at that. You know what I'm saying? I'm still not that great at that. But it seems like you start learning the things that you will need to do. So it's like, okay, well, if you don't have any fruit or something with you, maybe you could go and get a smoothie or something. But then they have a lot of calories too. You have to be mindful of that. So, you know, it take a lot. And I think it really comes down to it being a mindset and you really having to change your mind about what it is you want health-wise. I have high blood pressure. I do. I'm going to do a video on that too. Don't have diabetes. But my whole thing is I like fashion, right? And there's certain things that I like. It's certain things I don't like to wear. Like I like to have a choice of how I, you know, do my giddy up. And I think that it gets very limited when you're having to only choose from plus size clothing or something like that. So for me, that has motivated me a lot of times to, you know, get on a plan and stick to it. I was going to Hawaii and I was like, man, you know, Hawaii looks so beautiful in the pictures. I'm like, I want to be able to take some nice pictures when I'm there. I want to have some nice little bathing suits, boom, boom. So the months leading up to me going to Hawaii, I went ahead and I really got serious. I started going to, I already was going to a doctor that specialized in weight loss, right? And I got serious. I got on the little plan that she had and I got serious. And man, when I tell you I was a walking something, man, I walked so much it was crazy. But I got to the point where, because I don't know, I like walking and being out, like outside more than I like being in the gym. And where I was living at that time didn't have a gym. Like, so, you know, I had to just walk, go to the parks and walk. And I enjoyed that. That's when I started listening to podcasts, actually. Listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks. I was so motivated. Like, I hated to miss a day. You hear me? Like, I literally felt like, okay, this has become my lifestyle, right? I have ingrained this into my lifestyle. This is who I am. This is who I'm becoming. And I'm seeing results. So now I'm super happy because when I go shopping, I don't even have to look in the plus size. You know what I'm saying? Or 1X too big, you know? So I was like, okay, yes, like this is my motivation because all I wanted to do was like, I just wanted to be like a little solid 9-10. Little solid, little thick, little 9, little 10. Like, yes, I'm there. Let me get there and stay there. I'm happy with that. Like, it ain't my goal to be like, because I'm already solidly built. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never going to have no skinny, stick legs. Never want them because I always got compliments on having big, pretty legs. Like, I want that. But I want them to be toned. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to put on a shirt and not have a big stomach poking out. You know, stuff like that. So, my reasoning was that I was really going so hard was Hawaii. But then once I went to Hawaii, And after, it still was ingrained in me. So I kept doing good, losing weight, and I ended up moving. Even when I moved into my place, it had a gym, but I still was finding like outside places or whatever because that just was my preference. And I did that for a while, and I stuck to it. I was keeping the weight. Now it was love, 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 love. Like, I'm looking at my pictures now, and I'm like, oh, I'm looking like a bobblehead. Because when you start losing weight, it's like, I don't know, like your face started, that's almost the first place you're going to tell it is in your face. Your face looks smaller, like it's more elongated, and I started, I was like, I don't really like that, but what you going to do about it? You know what I'm saying? Because I like everything else that was, I like the weight being off of me and everywhere else. So, stuck to that. So I'm going to say that went on for like a year and a half. And then what happened? Then what happened after that is I started just like not making time to do the walks, not making time to go to the gym. And, of course, not, being mindful of the things that I'm eating. And then what happened? Gain the weight back. That's what happened. So I shared all that just to share that story, because I know it's a lot of women like myself that's their struggle. That's their struggle, and it's when that's not your struggle, you may not necessarily understand the struggle. It's not just that, well, you just don't care, that ain't it. That's not it for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because yes, I care. Yes, I'm even motivated by, just the fact that I like to dress and I like to present well. Even motivated by, like, hey, I want to present my best self to my partner. Understand me? I want my partner to feel like, hey, like, to be able to look at his lady and be like, hey, like, feel like he got himself something. And never to feel like he settled for anything. Understand me? Like, I want to be able to present, well for my partner, And truth be told, though, one thing I will say is, like, other than a joke or two here, I have never had guys that were just rude or said something, that's never been anything I had to contend with. I can't imagine having a partner who always be telling you bad stuff or say, I can't even imagine no foolishness like that. Like, yeah, we ain't never do it, none of that. Cause boy, by the time I finish telling you about your mama and your sister now, who? Boy, look here, you ain't never gonna wanna say nothing to me no more. Boy, I bet you that. But I don't know, I guess, I like to believe that the people that I have dealt with, like who I am just as a person, way more than anything else. So that's why that was never an issue. So in my mind, it ain't no issue still, other than the fact that it's healthy. You know what I'm saying? It's not healthy to be overweight. And because you want to be able to present well with whatever you're doing. And that's not to say that just because you haven't said that you can't present well, because I do. And I'm very mindful about, how I show up, what I'm wearing. If it don't look good on me, I don't feel like other people gonna look at it as it's flattering and this or that either. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not extra hard on myself, but I feel like I'm extra realistic. At least I try to be. But some people have never had any weight issues, and that has never been a thing for them. And a lot of times those be the people who like to speak the most on that. Well, you shouldn't eat so much. You shouldn't this. You shouldn't that. Well, maybe my life affords me to be able to move around and eat and do whatever I want to do, and I do that. Understand me? Like, it's not all. Sometimes it's like the fact that you've been blessed has led you to, maybe be able to overdo some things sometimes. And yes, you do need to pull back. But maybe sometimes y'all ain't gained no weight because y'all ain't had no life full of everything that you ever wanted or needed. Well, you have the luxury of eating extra or eating, in nice places. And, some people, you haven't had the luxury to overindulge. You know what I'm saying? So again, every woman don't have an issue just because she is, overweight or whatever. Some women are happy at how they are. And they find within the realms of themselves, Now some women be lying. Some women be lying and acting like they good with everybody ain't good with that. And here's the thing. Let me say this. I think whatever your situation is, you have to learn to be cool with it. If you can't change it. And if you can change it and you want to change it, then you can change it. Understand me? Now, some women have never had a nice shape. They have never heard how fine they is from anybody, right? So they got used to whatever cards they were dealt, right? But if you came up in an era where fine was a thing and being, in shape or something that weighed heavy, that held a lot of weight. And I'm from Florida, so being fine hold more weight than being pretty. Maybe in other states or something, where the weather is different. It don't matter how fine you is, because you ain't gonna be outside in short shorts, or you ain't gonna be in bathing suits too much or whatever. But listen, in Florida, if you fine, you could be ugly. You understand me? You could be ugly. But if you fine, they're gonna overlook that. That's the reality of that. I've seen it a million times, So when you come up a certain way, then it may bother you a little more when the weight gets on, or when, in some people's case, when they lose weight. If they was at this coming up and they like that, and that's, what got that size got the attention. If they gain too much weight or lose too much weight, they don't like the new weight. For me, that was my thing. I came up in the era where, hey, you was fine, you was considered fine, and so to get older and now you ain't as fine as you used to be, yeah, I got a little problem with that now. You know what I'm saying? But have I learned to make sure that, I have other things? Yes, I have. But would I still like to make sure that I'm healthy and that I present well? Yes. So that's why I like, women, you have to have other things going on. And you definitely have to have I'll say this to forever. You have to have your self-esteem in check. You have to have it in check. It's a lot of pretty women. It's a lot of women that's pretty and fine, and they self-esteem is still garbage. Right? So even though you're beautiful and you present well, you don't feel like that inside. So that's still a problem. And then I seen some women who they big as a house, or they facially challenged, the ugliest all get out, and they confident in that. They walk in that and they own that. And who are you to tell them anything? You know what I'm saying? Like, what I look like trying to, convince you that you shouldn't have the self-esteem that you have. You feel how you want to feel. Sometimes, could you be wrong? Well, it just depends. Just depends. Everybody ain't gonna feel how you feel about yourself, but they don't have to. It's your self-esteem, not theirs, right? So I just wanted to share that little story with y'all about, weight, how it comes sometimes. Other people weight may come from, it could come from stress. It could come from just overindulging, depression, just whatever it could come from. Illnesses sometimes, that thyroids. And I'm gonna touch on fibroids because fibroids do, make your stomach area bigger and stuff like that. I'm gonna touch on that too. But everybody, weight gain from having kids, everybody had their own story on how they got to be their weight, if they're overweight, if they're struggling with their weight or whatever. But it's nothing that I've ever been like, you can't make me shame because you say, oh, you fat. You can't make me shame with that. Like, you know how much I bring? Man, listen, I bring too much to the table to be worried about you saying that because I'm overweight. You don't think I know that? So anyways, yeah, but be encouraged though. Be encouraged because one thing about it, it ain't too many things that if you work on them, you can't change them. So listen, weight is like credit. Just because it's bad today don't mean it got to be bad tomorrow. Now, it may take some months to get that thing together. Oh, but you can go from this to that. It's just like credit. It fluctuates. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it could be bad. You can have it good all your life or you can have it bad all your life. You can have it good for a season and then it changes. They're numbers. They can change and they will change if you work on it. So look at it like that. Weight is like credit. It's going to be what you make it.